why coding can be hard, and how not to quit it. Yeah, let's check. Hey there, I'm Daniela. I'm a web developer with several years of experience in the field. I worked in startup, in corporate environment, as well as I've been a freelancer. I'm also a semi-self-taught, semi-bootcamp graduate who basically pivoted her career from architecture to tech. And I have some stories to tell. So if you're interested in hearing those out, then stick around. Firstly, let's establish that quitting is not for losers. And you know deep down inside the reason why you want to quit and why you start having those feelings. And I suggest you be your own judge on that. However, if the reason is because it's just too hard, well, welcome to the club. Wait a second, coding being hard? What about all those success stories of people learning how to code within, I don't know, 5 weeks, landing the perfect job, getting a high compensation for that, traveling the world, retiring early, basically living the dream? Well, false. Please take this information or those success stories with a massive, not grain, but a bucket of salt. Maybe the reality is somewhere along the lines where you're hitting a wall after a wall after a wall without seeing an end to it. Yeah, you're learning a concept after concept after concept. You have your list that you hope that is gonna get shorter, but you go to bed, you wake up, and then you see that the list has just grown bigger. Well, I know how it feels. That's frustrating. We have so many directions to choose from, so many frameworks, libraries, languages, concepts, methods, everything. We want to learn it fast, we want to be efficient, but it's not that easy. And on top of that, coding is a lot of brain work. You're basically learning how to talk to a machine in a completely new language. It's really not an easy one, especially if you want to get it right, you want to understand it, and you want to be able to do something with this information. Now, oftentimes in this moment of the conversation comes in the topic of age. Have you heard of Masako Wakamiya? I might be pronouncing her name wrong, but she's a senior citizen who learned how to code and build an app when she was 84. I'm also not gonna sit here and pretend like I know what you're going through within your age, because chances are we might be of a different age, we might be of a different background. But what I wanna say is that the brain is a muscle and it can be trained like any other muscle. Why it might be harder for one person or another is they might be out of the habit of training that muscle. So, for example, if there has been time since you last studied in high school or maybe in university, then chances are that it might be a little bit rusty and you need to train it more. Bottom line, you're totally capable of doing that. Another thing that I'd like to touch upon is our own expectations, be it from the success stories I mentioned before, be it from our own way of being very harsh with ourselves, be it maybe from goals that we set without knowing what it's gonna take to achieve them. Basically, embrace the pivot. Pivot! Pivot! But in all seriousness, things take time. Our journeys are all different. They all consist from our backgrounds, from our exposure to different resources, from our life situations, from our goals, from our way of learning, from so many more things that we cannot really compare to somebody else who maybe have done it in 5 weeks. But I really doubt it. If you take anything from this video, I'd like it to be that things take time, and that's just the reality of it. So, after all our bubbles have bursted and we know a bit more of the reality of it, we still want to continue and pursue that career, but it's still hard. So, how not to quit? First, as we just covered, let go of expectations or adjust them as you go. And did I mention pivoting? Create a curriculum for yourself so you'll know what's coming next. It's very hard and can be very challenging to just grasp some concepts that are hanging in the air without you knowing how they're actually connected to each other and if you even need to know them. You could, for example, check some bootcamp programs in order to understand what they're teaching, in which order, and kind of like go from there. This one might be obvious, but take your breaks. Your brain needs to digest all the new information that you're learning. It needs to have time in order to store it in the right places, you know? You won't train any muscles for 24/7 without a stop. It's exactly the same with the brain. So why would you do that to yourself? Just take the freaking break. One key thing that I found is important is to recognize your victories. If you learn a concept after a concept and you're kind of rushing through it and you want to get higher and higher and higher without looking back, you're kind of sabotaging yourself because you don't recognize how far you've come. So, recognize your victories. Another one that is golden is trust the process. You're in it for the long run and things take time. Pressuring yourself to do something fast and thinking, oh, why am I not getting it? Why is it so hard? It's just a waste of energy. It's not gonna bring you anywhere, so better redirect that energy into somewhere else. And I don't know, maybe eat a pizza or watch a movie or talk to a friend or go for a walk. Something. But just don't go there. Just don't go there. Join an online community. Follow people who inspire you, follow people who share the things that you want to learn. Create an environment for yourself that is going to enable you to be, maybe not always, but sometimes inspired. You know, you need to grab some inspiration not only from yourself, but somewhere from the out there. And online communities can be a great place for that. Maybe find an accountability buddy, maybe find even a mentor. Join the 100 Days of Code movement. Ask questions, ask for feedback. Be in the loop of all of that. It's gonna, first of all, inspire you. Maybe you gain some networking from that. And you're probably gonna see that you're not alone in that. Last but definitely not least, remember why you started. And that's probably the biggest one. Why? I'll cover that another time. Until then, remember, coding is for everyone and the tech industry needs you. If you like coding when it's not hard, if you like problem solving, if you like tackling issues and finding interesting solutions to them, and you have a reason why you started that can keep on driving you and motivating you towards the goal, then don't quit. You will get there. Trust the process. It ain't easy, but it surely is rewarding. I hope you're gonna reconsider quitting if you are struggling with coding being hard, and let me know if any of those suggestions or little stories helped you to kind of figure out what coding struggles can be actually like, or if you have any other suggestions for the community how to tackle coding being freaking hard, then please let me know. Until then, see ya!